Hey guys, this is Chris Zoupa here. Lovely to see you all again. Today we're going to be looking at the White Line classic, Little Fighter. It is a great solo by Vito Barata, I believe his name is. Got his name wrong. You can correct me in the comments, you White Line fanatics. Anyway, let's have a look at that delicious solo, shall we? Alright guys, so a little disclaimer about the tuning. I did some reading and found out that Vito actually tuned up to F sharp, so it's almost like having a capo on the second fret, but his Strandberg's obviously able to cope with that high pitch. But I have seen a couple of other covers and normal people playing it in E flat, so I thought we'd go with that tuning. If you don't know what the tuning for E flat is, it's E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, and an E flat at the bottom. So get yourself in tune and we'll get started. Alright guys, let's have a look at the first section. We're going to start off with this little arpeggio idea. Now if I slow that down, you'll notice that I'm just kind of highlighting what would be in standard tuning an A major arpeggio. So I'm starting off with this double stop from 10 of the second and 9 of the third, playing it together, and then just 9 of the third by itself. At the end of that, I've got a single note on 9 of the first string, and then from that point, I've got a hammer-on pull-off going 9, 12, 9 on the first string, then 10 of the second and 9 of the third, and that's going up that arpeggio. All together. Then we work into this phrase. So what I have here, which is kind of strange, is that arpeggio, more A major, but I'm just doing it all on one string. So I've got a slide from 17 to 14, then I'm playing 10 of the second string. So it's all on one string, and then I've got... So what I'm doing here is a bend from 21 of the first string, only up a semitone. I hit it again at the bottom, and then I play 19 on that string, and then end on 18 of the second. So we've got... I'll play that phrase again. Hopefully that's all making sense. Let's have a look what we've got thus far. Nice and slow from the start, and then we'll add the last chunk to it. Then from that point, let's go through this slowly. I've got a whole step bend from 20 of the second string, up and back, and then I play 17. And I'm doing exactly the same thing 2 frets back. So it's a whole step bend from 18, and then I end on 15. Bring it down, going to 15. So we've got... Now the next one's a little bit different. The intervals are larger on the frets, but the actual bend is shorter, which is kind of interesting. So I've got a semitone bend from 17 to the second string. Then I'm ending that on 13. So I've got... Then we've got, from that point there, I'm playing 15, up and back a whole step. At the end of that, we're going to resolve the phrase there. So what I have here is I'm playing 13 on the second string. I've got rolling legato going 12, 13, 12, 10 all in one go. So you can see I'm pre-prepared, but I'm also pre-prepared with my pointer finger, which is flat on 10 of the third string as well. So it'll go... It's going to kind of roll there. Now, obviously, I'm teaching with a little bit less gain, so it's not as saturated, but it will sound a little bit more bitchin' with some more gain and distortion on that. Okay, so let's go right back to the start of the section. We'll have a look at everything thus far, and then we'll do it again even slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Okay guys, let's have a look at the second section. Now I do want to preface this by saying that sonically I got a little bit confused here because it goes... So you've got this weird harmonic minor note, but then it disappears in the next phrase. So that 9/11 to me kind of really screwed my ears over, but the more I listen to it, it kind of makes sense with time. But we've just ended there, and then we roll into this phrase. Very similar ideas across the fretboard. I'm going to start off by playing 9/11/9 as a hammer-on pull-off on the 3rd string. Then I play 12 to 11 on the 4th. Then I roll into this phrase. What I have here is a hammer-on pull-off going 14, 15, 14 on the 2nd string. And then I want to play 16, 14 on the 3rd. At the end of that, I'm playing 17, 19, 17 on the 2nd string as a hammer-on pull-off. Then I want to play 19, 18 on the 3rd. So let's play all 3 of those chunks together. Then I work into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I'm using outside picking for this, so I'm starting on the up. So that kind of makes it easier for me. I'm just terrible when I get stuck in between the strings, trying to go down, up like that. So if you're one of those people, take this advice and try and start this phrase from the up pick. You'll notice that I keep pedaling back to the same note. So we're playing 17 of the 1st, 17 of the 2nd, then 19 of the 1st, 17 of the 2nd, then 21st of the 1st, and then 17 of the 2nd. So you've got... At the end of that, I'm going to go up a semitone from 21, then back down, and then 19, 17 on the 1st string. So we've got all together. Let's have a look at what we've got from the start of the section now. Okay, then after that, we go into the pick tapping. This is a very Satriani-esque thing to do. Trying to do it all with a regular tapped finger is a bit of a pain, but if you're using the side of the pick, you can get a lot more speed. So what I've got here is I've got 17 on my right hand, and then I'm playing 13 on my left. That's a whole step, so 2 whole steps or a major third. Then I move to 15 on my right hand and 12 on my left, and that's a step and a half or a minor third. And it's the same thing here from 10 and 13. Then I'm going to end on 8 and 12. So all together, hopefully that is all making sense. So that's all of the second section. Let's do it again at a gentleman's pace, and then we'll do it even slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Okay guys, third section, this sort of starts with a string skipped arpeggio. I'm going to start off with this phrase. It's almost got a bit of a U2 sound to it. Anyway, I'm playing 8 of the first string, and then I want to do a string skip playing 12, 10, 9 on the third. And then that's going to resolve on 10 of the fourth string. So it's kind of highlighting, almost highlighting a C major arpeggio. Then I go, so it almost just goes up back to that root note and then reverses. So we're going to go, I'll do that one more time, a bit slower. So just repeating those first 4 notes. Now the most annoying thing about this phrase is it'll go, you'll notice that I've got to go, and jump to the first string. So it is a bit of a pain to do that, using that pointer finger twice, but I haven't really figured out a better solution other than just going like that. Apologies in advance if you have a bad time with this. That hammer-on pull-off idea that I had, I was playing 8, 12, 8 on the first string, and then resolving that to 12 of the third string. So all together, hopefully that's making sense. Then I've got a double hammer-on from 12 to 15. It's also a pull-off in there, I guess. At the end of that, what's this? It's an F major. If I was in standard tuning, that would be an F major. I'm only playing 3 notes of that. It's pulling off from 20 to 17 on the first string and then resolving to 18 of the second. So you've got... Hopefully that's making sense. Let's put that with the other chunk. Then I go into this phrase. So what I have here is I'm playing 20 to 24 on the first string. Apologies if you've been doing this on a 22 fret guitar this whole time. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. So it goes like this. I'm playing 20 to 24. There's a slight break. Then a semitone bend from 24, then back down. I'm hitting it again at the bottom. All together. Hopefully that's making sense. Then I work into this phrase. So this is kind of interesting. It's got that kind of Mozart-y Bach vibe where you're kind of repeating notes and then other notes are descending, that kind of thing. But I'm mixing legato in with my alternate picking. So I'm starting from 15 of the second string, and I play 17 of the first, and then I want to do a hammer-on from 14. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth note is hammered on. I'm going to do exactly the same phrase, but this time I'm going to be starting from 14 of the second string. So this 17, 14, 17 idea with the pick notes and the legato is going to be the same on all 4 of these grooves. So let's slow that down. I've got 14 on the second to start, 15 on the second to start, 14 after that. Then I'm going to be playing 16 of the third string and 14 on the third string. And the tricky thing about that part is you're going to have string skips. It's a good exercise. Okay, then we're working with this phrase. Now, I've got some suspicions that maybe because the original tuning was that F sharp, there might be some weird open note on that fretted 12 that I've got there. It might be sort of one of the other strings open that happen to be tuned to C sharp, I guess, or whatever that is. Anyway, we'll deal with it in E flat this way, but it sounds just as cool. So I'm going to go, I'm playing 15 of the second, then 12, 14 of the first. And then I want to jump to 12 of the fourth. It is a bit of a awkward jump, but it does set you up for the next phrase. So after I've done the 12 of the fourth, I drop down to 12 of the third string. Then I've got a hammer-on pull-off, which is a semitone going 11, 12, 11, sliding to 5. And then that will resolve to 7 of the fifth. 7 of the fourth, rather. Apparently I can't count today. Anyway, so from that last little phrase, that is all of the third section. Let's do it again relatively slowly, and then we'll do it again even slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Alright guys, last section, we're going to start off with a couple of phrases that are all happening predominantly around 12, 10 and 8 of the second string. I'll play that first phrase. Let's slow that down. I've got a semitone bend from 12 of the second string. Then I'm doing a hammer-on pull-off going 10, 12, 10, and then sliding that back to 8. So we put the bend in front of that. Goes quite quickly. I'm going to do the same thing again, but I'm going to add a squeal on that first bend, and then I'm going to resolve that on 10. So it's the same phrase again, but I've got a squeal on the bend and then an extra note. Back to back, we're going to have this. At the end of that, I'm going to slide back to 12. Then I'm going to do the hammer-on phrase again. And that's going to resolve on 10 again. So the last phrase goes... So we've got the regular bend, the squealed bend, and then the slide. And it's all got that similar hammer-on idea. It's just remembering those slight variations. All together. Then I work into this octave idea. So we're going to start off from 10 of the 5th string and 12 of the 3rd, and that octave shape is going to take place for most of it. We're going to be doing slides and sort of 2/16 gallopy notes in between. Let's slow that down. I'm sliding from 10 to 12, and I'm going to have that sort of, as I said, those 2/16 gallop notes. So I'm going to go slide, 1, 2, slide, 1, 2. At the end of that, I'm going to slide from 12 to 14, with that same shape. I slide to 15, and then that 15 goes to 17. So all together, we're just following a scale, really. Then it starts to reverse. So I go from 17 back to 15, and then I want to go from 15 back to 14. So we've got... Now, as soon as I get to that 14, I'm going to start rubbing these octaves. It's a little bit hard without the distortion carrying me, but you get the idea. I'm playing with those octaves, 14, 15, 17... And then I'm sliding back to 12, and then I'm going to play 12, 14, 17. So we've got... Hopefully that's making sense. Then what I've got here is a power chord. On my left hand, I've got 10 of the 5th and 12 of the 4th and the 3rd string. So I'm going to be playing those notes separately and adding a bit of a bend on the G string when I get there. However, I'm doing an octave on my right hand with the tap. So I'm not physically pushing in. We're doing those Eddie Van Halen tap harmonics. And you're going to get the strongest harmonic if you're physically on that fret bar. So not in the middle of the actual, the woody bit, actually pressing on the fret itself. That's the idea. So we're going to go 10 and 22 on the 5th string, 12 and 24 on the 4th, and then when I play 12 and 24 on the 3rd, I'm going to do that bend with it. And that is the whole solo. Let's go right back to the start of the section again, and then we'll do it again even slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. And that was the solo from Little Fighter by White Lion. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you want tabs to this lesson and anything else that I do, please check out my mailing list. There is a link to that in the description box. If you haven't already joined up, you can get tabs, you can get extra content, you can get lessons, you can get other discounts on other things that I'm working on periodically, and also just updates on the going-onings of Chris Zoupa and my drastic and exciting adventures. Also have multiple books and video courses out at the moment, my most recent being the Exotic Scales for Rock Guitar. Very, very exciting, very proud of that one, and a multitude of other books and lessons available on Udemy, Skillshare, and my own website, chriszoupa.com. Anyway, I hope you guys dug the lesson, and I will catch you all for some more content very soon. Take care.